Hi, good evening. Tonight's video is coming from El Paso, Texas. Just the other side, we can see those lights way in the distance. Let's see that truck there. You can see where there's the street lights. That is Mexico. Tomorrow we unload 1 mile from the Mexican border, and the product that we've got in the back is going to Mexico. So I hope you enjoy this video, okay? Well, good evening. It's just outside El Paso, Texas. I'm actually in it, just in the suburbs here at the Loves Truck Stop. Tomorrow we unload our product right by the Mexican border, like a mile down the street. So I might walk down, take a picture, make sure I have my passport in my pocket, my green card, or maybe no, don't want to get mugged for my green card. But yeah, that's where we're going. Switch trailers with Paul back in Big Spring, Texas. He's away to Vegas with the load that I picked up, and I'm dropping his off. Yeah, he'll have the weekend off and then head back out to work after the Super Bowl. He's a 49ers fan, so they're in the final, so quite happy to be doing that. So he is. Wes is somewhere between Kansas City and Albuquerque tonight, fighting the fog. So I'm down here. A couple of things. Oil field is back. I tell you, don't all rush at once. Please give us a chance to make some money. But yeah, it's there. It's happening. I stopped and saw 5 people that I had associations with when I was here, and well, some of them I knew, and then some of them I'd spoken to over the phone and looked at going, and people that I knew had trucks here. It's back. I don't know if it's a truck shortage. You know, like I said before in the video, if there's work for 500 trucks and there's only 400, you're going to be busy. But if there's work for 50 trucks and there's 60, then, you know, so it just depends on how many trucks there are. But they're claiming that they're running off their feet. As soon as you want a load, you get it, and you might have to wait to get loaded sometimes, like always. But there's plenty of work and the rates are decent, and so Paul and Wes and the new guy are all going to be going in after the Super Bowl, and I'll just keep running this old girl for a few weeks until we put this into the oil field as well, and we get maybe a couple of people that looking at leasing on to us. So rather than take the trailers back, we'll use them for those guys. So that's the plan so far. I'd like to add a couple of trucks soon, if that's at all possible. If it's going to work out well down there, it's something that we'll look at seriously. A subject there, I put a video on of driving through, I can't remember which state it was in. The speed limit was 80 miles an hour and I was doing 80, and I just threw it on there maybe 5 days ago, and lo and behold, it's got so far 27,500 views on that video, which is astonishing. It only lasts a minute, but it's that many views on the Facebook page that we have for the Scottish Trucker Tommy. So there's a lot of comments on it. People think it's irresponsible and reckless, but this isn't the UK, and the trucks are built to do that, and you could be sitting at 80 mile an hour and people will go by you. Everything is built for that speed to cover these huge distances, and I know what the roads are like underneath me, and it looked like it was icy, but it was just a bit sketchy snow, and it was just, what, you know, I was heavy, and so I didn't think I was dangerous. I get the sniffles here. Something that came into my mind just recently, and as we're going into this oil field thing, we've got people coming on that are kind of new drivers, and a couple of leasers that are new to the game, and try to help people up the next rung of the ladder. And I hope he doesn't mind me saying, but back in the day, there's a man that worked for me, and he's retired now, and he sent me a message through the Facebook on the Trucker Tommy thing, and wanted to thank me for the memories that he made when he worked for me in Scotland. And I have to say publicly that I was quite touched by it, and so I phoned him up and spoke to him for a while, and he said that the time he spent there was the happiest time in his life, and he's working, not the happiest thing he's ever done, but the time that he worked there was one of the happiest stages in his life. And we tried to provide a decent environment and have fun, and it was quite relaxed, and probably too relaxed sometimes, but it was good. And I was quite touched by that. And if you can get through your life and have that reflection, and people can think that, then I think you're not doing too bad. So I was quite humbled by it and touched by it. So the man himself was a transport manager for me, operations manager, whatever you want to call it. And there was a time back in the day when I decided to dye my hair freaking blue and red, it seems like, and I was having a rough patch, and Stagecoach were kicking my butt all over the planet. If you're American, Stagecoach are a local bus company over there in Scotland, and they don't like competition from the small guys, so they tried to crush you, and I was trying to be an upstart maybe, and they were trying to stomp me out. And whilst you put a front on and you're fighting it at 5 AM when you're waking up at that crap time, where, you know, people, that Brad Pitt film with George Clooney where they say, "Are you suicidal?" and he said, "Only in the mornings." Well, that's usually the time for me, between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, when you're waking up and you start having doubts and weird thoughts. And anyway, it was getting time. We did a lot of schools, and Stagecoach were slaughtering us. They use every resource, ethical or unethical, to get you out of business. And they had people sitting outside our gate every morning and wait for our buses to come out, and they would follow them all day long. It was a guy's job, driving his van, to follow our buses all day long with a little recording device in it. And you don't need, this isn't exaggeration, this is fact. And so that type of stuff, and then the police were always in, say you're using bus drivers with no licenses. That's just not humanly possible. You just cannot have somebody driving a bus without a license, just over there at home. It's just ridiculous. And then they would been checking us every other day for red diesel to see if we're using cheap fuel, and I never had it before. Where the bus is picked up in the morning, we get a complaint through from the operating licensing people to say that the bus had left early and the lady had missed her bus and she had to get taxis to work. And this has happened morning after morning. Well, the buses were there in time and they left in time, and we come to find out that she was the wife of a Stagecoach employee. So every single dirty, rotten, stinking trick was used. So that was getting me down. And I distinctly remember when the schools were going back, as I said, we did a lot of schools. I think at one time we had 27 buses out in schools every day, and try to do our service work and try to keep on top of maintenance and keep cash coming in, and Stagecoach just grinding the ever-loving crap out of you. And I had some seriously good men work for me at the beginning, and that were with me all the way through, and they know who they are, and they were great guys to have. And there was a time in particular when the schools were going back where I just didn't want to get out of my bed, didn't want to face it. I was a little bit bully. Oh, my mid-30s, running this big fleet of buses with all these responsibilities. And if it wasn't for this particular man who said to me that it was the best time of his working career, there wouldn't be a company, because he was the man that G'd me up, got me going, and helped me get out of my bed and put one foot in front of the other and face this until Stagecoach gave me a payout and took some of the buses and got everything back on an even keel again. But we lost our service work. So Raz, thank you very much. You're a gentleman, and the same sentiment goes from me to you, sir. Your loyalty and your friendship are very valued to me. And so he said if he was 50, he'd be here helping me with this venture, and I don't doubt it. He's the kind of man that would be in there every Sunday, washing every bus down before they went out on a Monday, and park them up in a line, and he got something out of that. So it used to be great to have that help, and that was his extra thing that he did. So, but back to what we're doing here. Oil field is a boom. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to try and throw every resource I can get and throw it at it, and still try to maintain a presence going over the road. Not a presence, there's only, I mean, we're tiny, but we'll still keep doing something, keep our hand in there. I'm unloading tomorrow just down here on the border, so that'll be interesting, just to see that, how close I can get. You know, you drive past it up here and you can see through the fence, the big chain link type fence, that's Mexico over there. I have to say, you know, that President Trump wants to build this wall thing, and I understand that, to keep people who are trafficking or doing whatever they're doing to come across the border. But I have to say, the Mexican people that I have met while I've been trucking up in Idaho, it's mainly Mexican guys that load you up there, and they are just the best. The way they can maneuver a forklift truck and get you loaded, and their politeness and their humility, really nice people, really nice. And the guys that I've met out here that are Mexican guys, hard-working, decent human beings that they want to work hard, make some money, and better their lives. And I have to take my hat off to everyone. I've never met these ones that are doing the trafficking or anything like that. So I'm not making any political statements or anything like that, by the way, because I'm just an idiot. So, but the people I've come across, lovely. But back again, I diverse again, whatever the word is, digress, there you go. But I'm looking forward to getting into this oil field. I spent the day last night I was in Midland, and yesterday I was in Big Springs and met a couple of maintenance people that I dealt with, and they were telling me what was going on, and it's just very encouraging that it's back. There's a wave of industriousness here, and I want to be part of it. This was the first place I come last year in April. We only got about 6 weeks at it, and then the engine in this truck went down, and by the time we get through the summer, and it was kind of dying off and the rates get cut. But it's busy. They claim they're making proper amounts of money, so maybe that's and the fuel prices are down. Generally when the fuel goes down, the rates go down, but we're gonna have a go at this again. So I was thinking of just having Paul and me running over the road and put Wes and the new chappie in here, but after speaking to everybody today, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take the pain. It takes you longer to get paid here, so I'll need to fuel the trucks, and trucks like a drink, and drinks cost money, so I'll try and keep that cash flow going while the trucks have to run for a few weeks before we see any revenue. But yeah, should be good. What else we got going? You know, West will unload in Vegas, Paul in Vegas. I've got a load pick up in Texas up here. I'm right in the bottom corner, but it's up towards, not quite as far as Amarillo, so I'll bounce up there tomorrow and then grab this load going down to Jacksonville, Florida. $3 a mile, can't fault that. So and this paid all right coming out here, so it's going all right. Trucks are running well. Had a look at a couple of trucks when I was in Texas there. Sometimes it's not the best place to buy a truck because I've already had the crap kicked out of them. But no, I'm quite happy with how things are going. The guys taking the weekend off will be a wee bit of a cash flow difficulty, no difficulty, but they've got to have time off. They've just worked and worked and worked. They've got some big fancy house that they've rented up in the hills, I believe it is, in the mountains somewhere, and they're having a Super Bowl weekend. So good for them, they've earned it. What else is happening? My friend is coming over from flies in from London on this Sunday coming. He'll be with me for a couple of weeks and we'll head up to the northwest, drop him off, and then my dear wife Libby comes in, and I will spend some time with her, bounce around the country, having a look at the sites. You know, we have been able to see things here that most Americans have to pay, or British or tourists have to pay money to rent a car, pay the fuel, and get hotels. Well, we've got a hotel back here, hotel room. This is the car. My fuel gets paid for and I get paid actual money to go do it. So we've seen it all. I know all of it, but we parked the truck one time and went and saw Yellowstone Park. That was good. Unhooked the trailer up in South Dakota and went to Mount Rushmore. Last time she was here, we went up to Snoqualmie up in Washington State. Gorgeous waterfalls. We parked the truck next to in a strip mall and went and saw Graceland in one of the trips we did. I have to say that Graceland's probably one of my favourite places I've ever been in this country. It's I was never a huge Elvis fan or anything like that because it was before my time a bit, but you cannot go to Graceland and not be touched by his generosity and the whole spiritual experience, really. He's buried there, he died there. You go through the place where he died. It's just a great experience. If you haven't been, go. You get to go on his jet. Kind of guy whose little girl says, "Hey, I've never seen snow, Daddy," and he decides, "Okay, fire up the jet, let's go to Colorado." And they flew the whole tribe up there and played in the snow, and then this is too cold, let's go back to Memphis. Did that. We've been through DC, Florida. We went to South Fork Ranch, parked the truck in the hotel outside that, and took a shuttle bus to there. So we're quite it's no luxury in the truck, but you're privileged because you can I don't take it for granted that I get to go see these places, and I love it, and my wife enjoys it. So I don't know where we'll go this time. She just did 5 days in New York, which I'm glad she did, poor woman, because I took her there and all I could show her was the Bronx meat market in Hunts Point. So where the giant sewer rats are. If you've ever been up there, Google it on the internet. Don't take my word for it. I sound like a fantasist here because they have sewer rats the size of foxes. Check it out on Google. Leave a comment. I'm not kidding. We were sat in the truck and we saw these three things like dogs climbing out of the sewers, and I thought, they look like giant rats. Sure enough, they're under the ground in all these markets, and all the food that gets thrown away. I don't know why, but I mean, they are massive. There's pictures on the internet. Check them out. So that's progress so far. That's the plans. That's what we're trying to do. I've enjoyed being over the road and doing my long haul, and I'll still like to be doing a bit of that, because variety keeps things going. If you're spent every day in the oil field going back and forward, you know, you get bored. Just likewise, I was there today, 65 degrees, nice and warm, sun's out, freaking happy days. It's January and it was 65. A wee bit cooler at night, but I think that's where the future in the short term lies. We'll try and keep the reefer stuff going. A couple of leasers coming on, maybe a couple more trucks. We'll be there. That's our plan. So if you like these videos, please subscribe. We're up to 256 subscribers now. And this last video that went out, I have no clue how these things work, because the video before that I thought was a better video, and it got 600 and some in the first 5 days, and then in the first one day of this we're up over 700. No clue what makes them be viewed or be popularly viewed, and some not so popular. Don't know, no idea. But if you're watching this far, I appreciate you watching. Okay, thanks very much. Speak to you later.